Hey friends, welcome back to Lifestyle Chats. It's your host Ashley. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for clicking onto our platform, and we hope that you stay by subscribing. And if you're an old subscriber, welcome back to the LC gang. So don't forget to follow us on our social medias, Lifestyle Chats on Instagram and across other socials. So today we're going to be discussing, for the Small Business Mondays, we're going to be discussing being a studentpreneur. I don't know if I'm the one that has coined that term, but we'll go with it. So basically, that means balancing school and working. So we have someone who is in the medical field, and she has pioneered selling scrubs while being in med school for herself. So I would love you to introduce yourself to the people. Let us know what you are about, what you do, before we get into the thick of it.
Okay, my name is pesh Nshemereirwe, or Dr. Pesh on my socials. I am a final year medical student. I am a medical entrepreneur, if I can call it that.
Okay.
And I'm also founder of the pesh Foundation.
Okay.
And not a politician yet. That's it.
Yet. Underline yet. Okay. Thank you so much for coming onto the platform. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So medicine is quite tasking. I think everyone knows that's the one course unit that we know when you guys are doing medicine. Yeah, it's quite tasking. So what inspired you to bring a whole business into the mix? What made you decide to start doing your type of business?
I think what better explains why I started scrubs is how I started the scrubs.
Okay.
Because originally I was doing YouTube.
So really?
That's another thing to talk about.
Okay.
But originally I was doing YouTube, and then because in YouTube I was doing medical related content, like mental health and stuff like that. So my friends, when in med school, your producers, your directors are your friends and your medical class people.
Yes.
So they said, why don't you wear medical related attire instead of wearing like a nice clothes or a nice whatever suit it is? Why don't you wear scrubs or clinical coats or something like that?
Yeah,
but now, to fit what you're talking about. But now when you wear a clinical coat, it comes off like, okay, there is
too
that,
much.
a little bit too much. But the scrubs, people can relate to it.
Yes.
But now a good quality scrub can go for over 100,000. And that you cannot afford 100,000 each weekend to have in a YouTube video. You cannot do that. So I had to start looking out for how can I have good quality scrubs at a maybe cheap price. So I had to look out for which people are in the business, which people are selling scrubs. And then I had to get like some doctors already like selling some scrubs. Then I would get like packages from them, like maybe 2 or 3 scrubs. I would go and use for like 3 or 4 weeks. Then I market for them. That was the payment. Because I also had people telling me, why are your pictures being used by other people, yet you're also selling scrubs? Those are the people that I started with by that time. But then now, while I would do that and have some scrubs in the videos, that some people would see the scrubs, they're like, where did you get those scrubs from? How can I also get them? So I would recommend them to maybe where I got them from. But now the issue came in that I would have people want other types of scrubs that people I was working with didn't have. And most of those were like the floral scrubs and with like cartoons and all those things that they use in the pediatric section.
Come with animation sometimes.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I thought that was plain.
Oh no, those are good for the kids. The doctors that deal with the kids, the pediatricians, they're good for them because they're like kind of playful.
They are visual.
Yeah, you don't come off as the doctor that wants to prick the child. Yeah. So that was like they were at a high demand, and the people I was working with, I didn't have them. You can imagine having the first person I had floral scrubs, second person I do not have, we do not have.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do is that I decided to find a way how I can bring them in myself, and I just start selling them myself. So I had to talk to a couple of people. We had to say we can import in some of them. And that's how originally the Dr. Pesh scrubs was actually Dr. Pesh floral scrubs. I was only selling floral scrubs.
So you were only selling the floral
because that was
before.
the gap in the market.
Yes.
The other scrubs were already
never
there.
Heard of it, actually.
Exactly. But then with time, you realize you cannot just sell only floral scrubs. You also need the other scrubs. So that's how the whole genre of scrubs they came about.
So you source them.
Yeah, I source them. I import some of them, because the imported ones are quite expensive. And maybe like the students can't afford them. But maybe the SHOs, the consultants can afford them. So for the students, sometimes you have to make the ones in Uganda, use the Ugandan material, or look for the cheaper ones.
Oh, so you can also make some.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very innovative.
Thank you.
And I think it also goes to show that there are many ways you can make money out of whatever you're doing, not just through the degree itself, but also through associated things.
And also because when we talk about side hustles, maybe in university or med school,
Yeah.
the message I would love to preach out there is that you don't really need a lot of capital or like a whole vision to start.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan about the scraps. I'm just doing my daily YouTube, something like that. That's like a weekend hobby.
Yeah.
But through that, I realized there is a gap somewhere, and that's how the Dr. Pesh scraps started.
Okay. So you identified an opportunity in the market. Your eye was out. Like when you saw it, you said,
And
I'll
the
take
fact
the
that it comes with
opportunity.
money, so
Yes,
please
you
rush
said-
it.
Exactly. Okay. So what's a typical day like for you? Between classes, running a business, you said you do a YouTube. What's a typical day like for you as someone who is having all these different things running at the same time?
So on a normal day, or normal days for me, they start at around 5 a.m. So at around 5 a.m. in case I have to read through something, or I have to for class, or maybe I have to read through something that maybe was intense about business. I do that around 5.
Yeah.
Then around 6 to 7, I'm posting content for the scraps on YouTube, on my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere for the scraps. So by around 7:30 there, I'm dressing up for school, because our lectures usually start at around 8:38. So by then I have to be in class. And when the classes or the lectures get done, the first lecture, then I go take my breakfast. So I don't have my breakfast home usually. It's really maybe some occasions. So like during the break time, there I'm checking, because in the morning I send out to message people maybe who are supposed to deliver some packages, or someone whose package was delivered. I'm checking, did you pick it? Did you like it? Or maybe it's confirming certain order someone was ordering, maybe checking in if they send in the money or things like that.
So it's you who runs the social media pages.
Yes, I do.
Pesh Scrub. So it's you who gets the order, and then you have to dispatch the order. So what if you're not home and you have a class or you have an exam and someone has made an order?
Now, those are the things that I have to divide. That's why I was telling you about my day. So around break time, I'm also checking through, have they gone, have they not gone? After break, you're going in for another class. Lunch break, I'm also getting back out. The order's gone, which one is stuck somewhere, how can we work around it? After lunch, you're going back for classes. Then in the evening, that's when I have to settle make calls and all of those things. Now, if the order does not go, I'm the one to blame. There is no other person. That's for now though, because I found it very hectic if I get an option, because I think I have a few months to leave med school. I need to find someone to work with. But also for a starting business, like you have a lot of capital. If you bring in someone, they will literally take all your profits. You have to pay them. So it's like right now I still have to do all the work that is required to be done. Yeah, it's tiresome, but that's the price.
So it sounds like it's a lot about structure and managing your time, or allocating your time to certain things in order not to go crazy.
It's priorities, because I keep telling people, because I get that question a lot, how are you able to manage scrubs and then med school and all of that? You have to know what your priorities are, because med school is something I've invested in for 7 years of primary school, 6 years of high school, and now how many more years into university? I can't just play around it. So everything else has to make sure it fits in my extra time. I cannot tamper with med school. It's a priority. That's a number one. There are no questions about it.
Okay. Running a business while you're in medical school must definitely be trying, and I'm sure you've come to have certain incredible lessons when it comes to running this business. What are some of the lessons, or maybe 2 big lessons that you've gotten from being a studentpreneur, basically balancing school and having a venture on the side?
Maybe the first thing is actually funny, because my name is Patience, but I think I'm one of the most impatient people. So what this business has taught me is how to actually be patient. And not just with the business, but with the people too. If you've done business, you know, a customer will enter, you will describe to them every question they'll ask you, describe to them everything they need. They'll be like, I'll come back tomorrow. And they will never show up.
Explain
exactly. Or maybe some customers, some are a little bit hard. So realize how much you have to put down your emotions, your ego, be the bigger person in a conversation. Like you literally have to be very patient. And maybe the second thing is that originally I thought every business deal that comes, you take it, but you then get to realize that some business deals you're going to turn them down. Because some of the business, you're going to have a client. Like I said, some clients can be a little bit hard. And for those, you actually see them even in the start and asking you, what's the price? How much can you reduce from? You see how they communicate. Be like, and I'm going to work on this one, but there are 2 things that we can get out of this. Either it may go bad or it may go good. Like, you see, this is a little bit difficult. So some business deals, you decide to turn it down. You're like, no, we're not going to be able to to work for you, because you may give a customer something and then they may go and bad talk about the business. I think maybe also the other thing that I can add on, because for me, some things maybe I already knew, but some things were like new to me. The other things that I learned, like interpersonal skills, how to talk with people, how to interact with people, because originally as like a very secretive person, like I want to be in my zone, I want to be alone, and med school helps you with that, because you're just reading, maybe discussing, you're in class, you don't have a lot to do, maybe go hang out and stuff like that. So I usually love to be alone. But now when you're dealing with customers, you actually have to understand, how do I speak with people, how do I make sure this conversation goes here or stops here, or we have this and
how
this
do
and
I
that
interact
with people.
how do I have
So I have learned that a lot with Dr. Pesh Scrubs.
Okay. So you said you're coming to the end of your med school journey in a couple of months. And would like to understand, how do you envision this business evolving for you after this? Do you see this business growing outside of what it is, outside of it being a side hustle? Please do share with us some of the plans. How do you see it in the next 2 to 3 years? Scrubs.
Where Pesh Scrubs is headed is, I usually love to attack what's the next step. Like, how much plan do you have in 10 years to come? Because now I have a few months left to finish med school. So I know after that, because now I still operate as an online business, I don't have a physical location. So after that, immediately after school, I'm thinking of having a physical location in Kampala. I don't know where that is going to be yet. I don't know if there are people that have places that maybe can rent out or something like that. But yeah, the first thing is that I'm looking into having a physical location in Kampala, maybe before we open to all other areas. And then secondly, we're looking at expanding it. But now, before you expand the business into maybe X-ray machines, or maybe we're selling ambulances, anything medical.
So more medical.
Yeah, but you have to first understand what exactly is lacking in the market. How can we bring it in? Because that's actually a higher risk, because the other equipment is actually more expensive, so you require more capital. It's not like these other scraps. So we're also looking at expanding. I think that's each, having a physical location and expanding further. That's what we're looking at. And also, because we've had a couple of people have contacted me, I didn't know that also hotel people, their uniforms, they also make them like that. So I've also been approached by people who have hotels that want us to make uniforms for them. Because originally it was just maybe hospitals or doctors in themselves. So I'm also looking at how we're going to expand into that area, but not yet. That's going to be like, because
it's going to require a little bit of a task force.
Exactly, and of which I'm a medical student. I don't know anything about tailoring. I don't know anything about material. I'm learning on the job, and maybe I also see how to do something, of course, maybe related to that. Because when I'm telling people, you didn't do this right, I want it done this and this and this way, I need to have knowledge about it. I need to understand it. So maybe I also get into that side. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. I think it's very inspirational to have something as difficult as med school and take from it and say, look, I'm going to still do something on the side. And I'll also have an eye for opportunity. In my entrepreneurship course unit at uni, they used to tell us one of the ways you can tell that you're a good entrepreneur is you can quickly spot opportunity or gaps, because sometimes things just come to you, they're just passing you. But if you don't have the ability to look out at them and say, oh, I think this is something I could utilize, then you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities.
And I also think that's something very important for the young people to know and understand, that sometimes you won't know what your talent is until you're practically doing something and someone says you, I think you're good at this. So it's very important for us to take up the available opportunities, take advantage of them and be good at them, because it's through then that you'll be able to understand, what am I good at, or what exactly can I venture into. I wouldn't have known anything about Scrubs if I wasn't doing YouTube. And also how I got to do YouTube is a very different story that maybe I'll talk about some other time. So as a young person, don't feel entitled. The property of your parents that don't belong to you, regardless of how much they have. Just take up opportunities, take up space, whatever comes around. We are still young people. We can explore and figure out what we're best at, what we're good at. But you're not going to do that when you're sitting. And you're going to have sacrifices
to explore and so much to give. Thank you so much, Pesh. Thank you so much for taking the time. Welcome to the LC gang. Thank you guys so much for watching this video till the very end. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let us know if these are conversations that you enjoy, and give us your feedback, because it's valued over here. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, lifestyle chats across our different platforms, and we are sponsored by the Bell Beauty app, so don't forget to follow them on socials as well. It's been Ashley
And Pesh.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao.